Hello everybody, welcome to Marketing Analytics course. This is Dr. Shagoda Chatterjee from VGSOM IIT Kharagpur who is taking this course. We have come a long path and we are now in week 10, and on this week and in the next week, actually in 2 weeks, we will be discussing about text mining and various applications of text mining and natural language processing in the context of analytics, in the context of marketing analytics. So, text mining in the context of marketing analytics is applied majorly applied because that with the I would say internet availability of people and information and digital technologies being spread all over the world, every person can express their feelings, express their information. So, that is why information is getting generated from various corners of the world, and often those information is unstructured. So, what is structured data and what is unstructured data? That is something that we have to understand from an analytics perspective. Structured data are those kind of data which are kept in a tabular form, which is well put, and I would say the various kind of statistical analysis can be done ready made. The data is ready made for any kind of statistical analysis. On the other hand, unstructured data is something which is not been given a form that can be used for data analytics yet. So, that is something that is a problem for a analytics person. What he has to do is he has to convert the unstructured data to some form of structural format, and then with that structural format he can do statistical analysis. One of the examples of unstructured data is this text data. So, consumers or individuals create text data in the context of marketing quite a lot. For example, customers write reviews. They can write reviews in, let us say, Yelp.com or TripAdvisor.com or various e-commerce websites. They write reviews. Now, these reviews are text, they are unstructured data. You do not have a proper tabular format for this particular data. To analyze this data, you have to convert this unstructured data in some form of structural format, and then you have to analyze. Another example will be pictures. For example, again various in influencer marketing, it is very well used that people post pictures, and you have to understand that whether the picture, what the picture is saying, or what kind of brands are more prominent on those pictures, and what is the level of prominence of the brand. So, all of these things will contribute towards the brand image when influencer marketers are actually posting their pictures. So, that is something that excites marketing professionals, and that is also one kind of unstructured data. Another type of unstructured data can be videos or audios. So, video and audio both are unstructured data where people take a decision that how I will actually what this particular video is saying, whether this video is saying some action or video is saying some product, whether I can find out what kind of action is happening from this particular video, and so on. So, there can be so many different types of insights that you can generate from this unstructured data, and the whole world is filled with more unstructured data than structured data. So, structured data will only be created when we forcefully capture the data and put it in a tabular form. But there, if you capture 10% of the world's data, you are not capturing probably 90% of the world's data, and that data is still lying idle in various parts. All you have to do is you have to capture them, change them in some way, and create a structured data. So, that is something which even in the marketing context we have to do. So, customer reviews is one such unstructured data text where text is involved, and we will do natural language processing and text mining to do that. Another places where the text comes up is blogs. Consumer writes blogs, travel logs are created, blogs are created. Whether these blogs are working well or blogs are good or blogs are bad, that kind of thing makes sense. Another classic application of marketing, of text mining in the context of marketing and text mining is let us say clickbait. If you have heard about clickbait, what is a clickbait? Have you heard about this kind of posts where people say that 5 ways to kill mosquitoes without using any kind of mosquito repellent, or 10 ways to become successful in the world without doing anything. So, these kind of posts are actually called clickbaits, where they are baits, they are driving you towards them so that you click on them. What happens is, when you click on them, you go to a website and then that website is filled with various kinds of advertisements. The only purpose of this clickbait is to attract traffic towards them, and the moment traffic comes to that particular website, they make some money. That is all is their purpose. Now, various platforms like Facebook and etc. is trying to stop these clickbaits. That how I can identify the clickbaits ahead of time, and then I can block them so that people do not click them, or the content, I would say the content that is being shared in Facebook, the quality of the content does not go bad, or oftentimes violence identification if it is a picture, or let us say nudity identification if it is a picture. All of these things can be done using various kinds of unstructured data mining. Text mining is done for clickbait, text mining is done for sentiment mining, for spam detection and various other stuff. So, here in the next few hours, we will discuss about how we can use natural language processing and text mining techniques to implement it in the real world situation. Now, there is a difference between text mining and natural language processing. What is natural language processing? It is the area of computer science or linguistics, you can say, where people try to find out how we talk, how we write. Based on that information, they will process some text. In general, text mining is the broad area. Any text you mine that, whether that has been made by human being, whether that has been created by machines, whether that has been created by some website writers, any kind of mining of any text is text mining, and there are certain processes for that. When you do the same thing, text mining, keeping in the mind of linguistic characteristics of the text, that whether the guy is, for example, when I write my written text, you will see that they are often grammatically correct. When I am speaking, I am not even completing a sentence. Sometimes I say that okay, this, and then after some time I break the sentence and go on in a different context altogether. So, the sentences are also not full when we go and say something. Even for this particular course, if you go and see the transcript of the course, I think there are transcripts being created by NPTEL office. So, you go and see the transcripts of the text, and not only my transcripts, you can see any other professor's transcript. You will see that the transcripts are not full sentences. Now, that is a text that is getting created from the linguistic characteristics of verbal communication. The same thing will be absolutely different when you just analyze my emails, my formal emails, my SMSs, my informal chats. The type of linguistic characteristics that will come up from this kind of text will be very different. Now, when you do text mining, keeping these kind of characteristics in mind, it is actually natural language processing. So, how naturally we create language or we use language, how that knowledge can be used while you are doing text mining to create insights about the text, that particular domain is natural language processing. Now, we have come up a long path in natural language processing, but there are lots of other things that has to be done in natural language processing also. So, we will in this particular section we will discuss about that. So, NLP and some text mining methods and introduction is something that I will discuss in this particular class first. So, what is NLP? So, natural language processing is a subfield of artificial intelligence used to aid computers to programmatically understand the human's natural language. So, that is the major goal. What is the goal? To programmatically understand the human's natural language and to process and analyze large amounts of natural language data. So, ideally there was always qualitative studies were done, and in qualitative studies, let's say a focus group discussion is happening, 5 people are sitting in the room and they are discussing. Generally what we used to do is, we used to take pointers on them, we used to record their particular audio, whatever they are saying, transcribe it, and then there was one person who used to read and do content analysis on them. So, what kind of things are coming up by simple reading. Now, see, if there are 5 persons doing this job of creating information and there is one person who is getting the information from the text of 5 persons conversation, then that is doable. The moment it becomes 500 persons or 5,000 persons or 5 lakh persons, it becomes very difficult. It becomes very difficult for one single human being to do this. Now, you can say that, okay, why will I put one single human being? I can put 10,000 human beings, then the inter-human being reliability will go down. So, whatever he thinks, person 1, the analyzer 1 thinks as a positive sentiment, and whatever analyzer 2 thinks as positive sentiment, their level of positivity might be different, their thresholds might be different, and then the analysis will have some amount of bias depending on who is analyzing it. So, then to solve that problem, we need a program, but the program has to have human level understanding of whatever whatever is being talked in the text. So, a word very good, let us say very good, it can be said in various terms. There can be sarcasm, there can be really good, and etc. So, let us say I give an exam, and in that exam I score very well, 90 out of 100 or more than that. I come and say, Mom, I have scored 90 out of 100. Mom says, very good, beta, very good. So, that is actual very good pride and good sentiment, positive sentiment comes up. The same thing, if I says, Mom, I got 40 out of 100, and my mom says, very good, 40 out of 100, very good, very good. So, that is basically a sarcasm that mom is saying. Now, when I convert it into text, both are same, no, both are very good. So, if both are very good, both are the same text, then the text has to, the program has to understand by listening to the context that whether it is a sarcasm or actually true, which becomes very difficult. For a human being, it is possible. A human being, if you understand that 40 out of 100 and then it very good comes in, that means it is sarcasm. A human, when he reads the text, he will understand, but a program might not understand. So, you have to make the program understand in such a way such that he programmatically understands humans' natural language and to process and analyze large amount of data. So, these two things, large amount of data programs can handle, but program cannot handle humans' natural language. When these two things you try to bring into the picture, both are done at a suitable level of analysis, then you are doing natural language processing well. So, data in question in this case can be any unstructured data. It can be voice, it can be chat, it can be social media data, Facebook, or any product or news. So, this kind of data can be analyzed using natural language processing. The history is way back in 17th century. So, it is being done for quite some time. Philosophers such as Leibniz and Descartes placed the proposal of codes to relate different language. So, this is something that has been happening till from the 17th century, but those then remained theoretical, they were theoretical understanding. In 1930s, George Artsrowney using paper tape created the first bilingual dictionary. So, dictionary is also one type of natural language processing. The other proposal by Peter Troyanovsky, a Russian, was more detailed. It included both the bilingual dictionary and rationale of grammatical roles between languages. So, slowly it evolved from 17th century, then 1930 it was some bit of empirical work, and slowly it evolved. In 1950, Alan Turing published the famous article Computing Machinery and Intelligence and had a mention of thinking capability of machine. So, now we are bringing in AI a little bit, and in 1980s first statistical machines translation systems were developed based on statistical model, and probably in the 1990s and etc. we have used that in Google also, the translation of language from one language to another language and so on. So, what is the application of NLP? NLP can be applied in Gmail's auto reply. For example, let us say somebody says, Shoptasi, we can we came across a business problem, there is a huge scope of drive value research, let me know if you are interested. The moment somebody writes that, see in Google at the bottom there are some text comes up automatically. So, you can just click on that and the reply goes up. So, yes, I would be interested, I am interested or not interested. So, these are auto replies. So, how I can get these auto replies? You get that in chats, you get that in emails. So, that is where natural language processing comes into the picture. The same thing comes into the picture when you are typing. So, I am working for Tata Consultancy and then the services is automatically written there. So, basically keyboard next word prediction is also where natural language processing comes into the picture. Then Google Translator. So, from language to bhasha, natural language processing will come to the picture. Then IMDb movie review. If I want to know that what kind of genre it is or what kind of movie reviews it is coming up, what I should do, what I should not do, it comes into the picture. Again, article recommendation. We have talked about recommendation engine, but we have not talked about how, based on whatever text you are reading, how other articles which are of similar topic or of your similar interest level can be populated, that we have not discussed. That is also something that can be done using NLP. Another kinds of applications are spam email detection. This is something that we will do a case study on that. Trend analysis we can do probably, or I will at least suggest that how to do it. Call center chat text transcript analysis, that is also something you can do to find out that whether people are working well or not. What is the customer sentiment and satisfaction level? What is the performance of the caller? What is the overall robot business problem identification? All of these things, basically customer sentiment analytics, what customer wants, performance of the sales caller, all of these things can be done. And then the movie review, whether the movie has been positively reviewed or negatively reviewed, what are the key themes where they are giving positive reviews, what are the key themes where they are giving negative reviews, all of these things can be done using NLP. So, there are huge application of natural language processing in the context of marketing. So, when we do natural language processing, there are certain steps. The first step is pre-processing. So, before you do any kind of text mining, you have to process the data so that it becomes usable. What are the processes, various types of processes? The first job is clean the data. So, it is an unstructured, I would say raw data and the data dump probably, and you have to clean the data first. That is the first basic job that you have to do. So, how to clean the data? Either you can get clean ASCII text, that is the best available. Otherwise, you remove HTML markup, pictures and advertisement. So, HTML markup may carry information too, which can be extracted. For example, whether it is a heading or whether it is a new paragraph or whether it is a link, a email link or is a URL, that is actually given by this kind of signals, B, H. Those who have done a little bit of with HTML will know. So, you might not want to remove that also. If you want to remove, so you have to take a, I would say very informed call that what kind of HTML markups I will remove and what kind of HTML markups I will keep in my data set, so that I can create certain information. For example, let us say one of these things will be, let us say in any review there is a title of the review and then you will write the whole text. So, it is a very good movie and then you give a explanation about how good it is. Now, very good movie is the header that will come under delta H1 markup, and then the text is probably P paragraph. So, that H1 markup, if you can copy it and analyze the title of the review separately and analyze the text of the review separately, then you might get newer information. So, this is something that you have to understand. Then automate this with wrapper induction. So, you might not want to do all of this manually data cleaning, you want to have a wrapper, which I will show you how to do it in the data mining process. What else? You can lemmatize a stem. For example, many words have the same key. For example, let us say if I talk about I am eating, I eat rice, and I have eaten rice. So, eating, eat, eaten, all are eat basically. A verb, the basic form of verb is. So, when we transform the data to the basic core form of the word, that is called stemming or lemmatizing. So, that can be done, that is something that we generally do to know that which word is most occurring. So, if I put eating, eat and eaten to be different words and we try to find out word frequency or something, we want to know that how much time people are talking about eating when they are giving a review of a restaurant. Then if I keep these three words different, then they will be calculated differently. But if I lemmatize them, stem them and make all of this word to be eat, then I will know that the frequency is much higher for what people are saying. So, that kind of processing has to be done. For example, buyers, buyer or buying, all of these things are related to buy. So, if I can lemmatize that, then we will know that people are talking about buying a lot. Remove stop words. So, there are lots of words which are commonly used. Some are I, you, he, she, am, no, not is also stop word, but sometimes we should not remove that. Or let us say hi, hello, and there can be so many different kind of stop words. So, there is a stop words dictionary that has been created by many various I would say linguistic professionals or linguistic researchers. Basically, these are the words which does not contribute to any meaningful information in the text. So, we can remove the stop words while doing the text mining. Then find the named entities. For example, proper nouns, name of place, name of company, name of people. Sometimes we want to filter that also. Depending on the situation, we want to filter. So, if I say that Rahul and I have went to this hotel and this hotel was very good and we have enjoyed a lot and this and that, but this name Rahul has nothing to do in this whole text. So, I would rather not want Rahul to be in the text, because this is a proper noun and I have nothing to do with that. So, on the other hand, when I am doing in other contexts, this Rahul name might be useful. Let us say I am talking about a chat transcript, or I am analyzing the conversation of 3-4 people. So, when 3-4 people are conversing with each other, whom I am talking to can be found out from that Rahul name. So, sometimes it will be useful, sometimes it might not be useful. You have to take a informed decision that when I will keep it and when I will remove this particular thing from the text. I can resolve homonym also. So, synonym unification, all the synonyms can be joined together. Part of speech tagging, sometimes we want to filter out nouns, adjectives, verbs separately. For example, a classic example will be in the sentiment analytics. Let us say I ask my students to do parts of speech tagging, because let us say if I ask you that how will you rate this particular course, you rate this particular course based on the learning, based on the delivery quality, based on the probably the attentiveness or the responsiveness of the team and various other things. So, now think about this thing, the learning ability, the learning, the learning, the delivery of the of this particular course, or the responsiveness, all of these things are noun. What is responsiveness? It is a noun, it's a characteristics. Or let us say quality. Quality is a noun. Product quality is a noun. Product quality is good. Good is an adjective. So, responsiveness is very good, or very highly very high responsiveness. High is an adjective, responsiveness is the noun. So, if I say that this book is very good, the book is the noun and good is my adjective. So, oftentimes we actually give sentiment on a noun and the adjective gives me whether the sentiment is positive or negative and etc. So, if I can tag them based on the parts of speech of the lines, then I will be knowing that whether people are saying positive or negative about this text. So, that is something which is very important and we have to understand that. So, stop word removal we have already talked about. Most steps are optional and application dependent. So, as I was telling you again and again that you have to understand that you will not apply all these steps. You will choose which step to apply, which step not to apply depending on the situation. And I will show you in some situations some things will be applicable, in some other situations something will not be applicable. And many sentences steps are language dependent. Coverage of non-English varies. For example, if by chance if there are certain things which are written in non-English language, then the stop words will be different. The natural language processing of the same thing when I speak in Hindi and the same thing when I speak in English might be very different, and the stop words might not exist in Hindi, or let us say this parts of speech tagging, way of parts of speech tagging might be very different in Hindi and English. So, we have to find out that it is a very language dependent activity. The moment you shift the language, the procedures, the lemmatization and etc. might be different. So, that you have to think about when you do language. And free and open source tool and web APIs exist for most steps. So, you do not have to code for most of these things. There are already somebody has created libraries. We have been using libraries for various things. So, we will be using libraries here also. You have to remember that marketing analytics course is not to create algorithms. It is to apply already ready-made algorithms in the context of marketing, so that marketing decision making becomes easier. We are not algorithm creators, we are users of already created algorithms. Then what is the text mining? So, this is how the structured data looks like. And multimedia, free text and hypertext, each of them can be the source of information, which is basically unstructured data. So, what we do here, the first thing that we do when we do text mining is called creating bag of tokens. So, this is where I will stop today after this particular slide, and we will continue in the next video. So, what we do first thing is we convert a document into token sets. For example, you see that in this particular thing, nation has been used quite some time, and then there is another word called civil, another called word. So, each of the unique words after removing stop word and punctuations and this and that, whatever words are left, we convert them to unique words, and then the corresponding unique words frequency we also write. So, losses all order specific information and severely limits context. So, this is one way of analyzing, but this generally limits the context of the data set. And still, this is, though it limits the context of the data set, this is one of the most used version of text mining, and we will discuss about this in the next video. Thank you for being with me. I will see you in the next video with term frequency and inverse document frequency and how tokenizing can help in text mining.